Hello, listeners, and welcome to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast, episode 5. I had 4 in the show notes, but it's 5, guys. And not like the restaurant either. That's no pun intended. And Sam isn't here. We're off to a great start. Sam is in this episode because he hates me and he hates Bree, and he sent me a very rude direct message saying if he had to be on the show again, he was going to leak my IP address, but but that never
I
happened,
heard.
and apparently it's actually his birthday, and he's just had birthday celebrations. He's probably lying about that too, But we know we wish
You
him a
never
happy
know what.
birthday. We wish
Yeah.
him a happy birthday, and yeah, I forgot to mention, No Limits is presented by Save the Game Media. Remember, you can check out our podcast over at youtube.com/Save the Game Media every Tuesday. And while you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But if you'd rather listen to audio, we are on all of your favorite podcast services. We would love it if you give us a 5-star rating. It helps the algorithm, helps us get discovered. If you'd like to interact more with us, including sending questions, joining the Discord, and just talking to us hosts and other people in the community, please check out the link in the show notes. And finally, if you want to support and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/Save the Game Media and choose the tier that's right for you. Just like our current patrons, Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, and new as of a week or two ago, SAZ. And now with all that out of the way, Bree, what you been playing? And how are you doing?
Ooh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I have been playing Final Fantasy 14 a lot. I finally got, for people that play Final Fantasy 14, I finally got to run at PS1, which is like I think it's Pandemonium, I think is what it stands for, but it's the Savage version of the raid. So I finally got to have a run at that. I haven't finished it yet because always like those practice parties get disbanded because people get mad at each other. They're like, how dare you not know how to do this? Even though it's like literally like practice because I don't know how to do this. It's it's ridiculous. Anyways, but I've finally gotten a run at that, and I was so excited about that because I hadn't been able to yet. And then other than that, I've been playing a lot of League of Legends because they're currently doing a Star Guardian event, and who doesn't love Star
So
Guardians?
what does that mean for stupid
Um,
people like me?
so it's just so they just do events where you can like earn like extra rewards and stuff, but they also do like story content. So right now they're working on their alternate universe, which is Star Guardians, which is basically magical girls. And so they have like a bunch of story stuff going on right now, and you unlock the story through playing the game. And I'm very interested in what's happening in the
Hmm.
story. So I've been playing the game endlessly because I'm like, I need to know
Oh,
what
so
happens.
you need to get enough matches in to unlock extra. Can you like buy your way to those story bits? You just have to keep playing games, matches and matches and matches. Okay, that's I.
It's fortunately not too many games. It's not like hard. But I also bought like the pass for the event, which means that you get extra points for playing games so that you
Oh,
can get more rewards that are like skins and stuff in the game.
okay.
So
And
I've been playing a lot of League.
All good. Isn't like a league game like 40 minutes or something?
No, question mark. It depends on the mode. So right
Oh,
now there's a game called Ultimate Spellbook where basically you switch ultimates with other champions. You still have your ultimate, but you get like an extra ultimate. So you just like do lots of damage for no reason. It's pretty intense. So I usually play that mode, which is probably about 15 to 20 minutes. A regular game I would probably say is about 20 to 30,
okay.
unless you really get into like sometimes it can go for like up to like I've seen like an hour and 20. But that's like pretty intense
Gotcha.
games. But
Okay.
yeah. How are
Interesting.
you and what have you been playing?
Oh, thanks. I've been pretty good.
Good.
I have one more week at my current location, then actually move to my. Let me back up. So last week I missed the show because I had to move apartments, basically apartments in town. But next week I'm actually moving from my current location back to that apartment that I moved a lot of my things to fully move in next weekend. So I may or may not be on the show, and I'll have to talk to Bree about that and Sam next week. But yeah, so preparing for that. Last week my internship is coming up, and I have an interview this week for a full-time position, and I'm very scared and anxious. So we'll see what happens there.
I
Um,
believe in you. I know you can do it.
Thanks. And but besides that, what have I been playing? I have gone back to and been aggressively playing Breath of the Wild.
Mm.
Still on my first playthrough, over 85 hours in, two divine beasts killed, just exploring and progressing. I got the Master Sword yesterday.
That's exciting.
Yes, and I found the Korok Forest, which I actually wanted to do because for those who don't haven't played Breath of the Wild, they're these little collectible, cute creatures called leaf creatures called Koroks, and for every one you find, you get a Korok seed, and you can trade these Korok seeds with an NPC, kind of a Korok king, not king, but a bigger Korok NPC named Hestu, and you can ask him to upgrade your item slots. So you can like increase one weapon slot for your sword, shield, or bow. And I wanted to get to him because I wanted to increase more of my slots, and he was nowhere to be found. Besides, he said, "I'm going to go to the forest north." So I just went north, and I eventually found him. But
Hey.
thanks, yeah. But yeah, and I even played it as recently as this morning. I'm stuck on a certain shrine that I have no idea how to solve. It has it involves constellations and looking at star patterns, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, I don't like astrology, but this too ain't it. So I'm just gonna leave that on the back burner for now. That specific shrine, I should say. I'm still continuing with Breath of the Wild and really enjoying it. Yeah, and I also did something else, which relates to our first news story. Well, you have any comments on what I've been playing, Bree? Or should I just go into the news? Did
You
you
know
play
what?
Breath
That
of the
was
Wild?
such a good. I have played Breath of the Wild, but of course I have not beat it. You know how I
Okay,
am with
dude, it's a
games.
huge game. It is enormous.
Yeah.
Again, 85 hours. I think I'm maybe halfway through for my playthrough and what I want to do in the game.
Yeah, I think I really did love Breath of the Wild, and I think I made it to, like, all of the main areas, like, I was able to kind of, like, dip into all the areas and check things out. So I made it through, like, most of, like, the main story, but I definitely didn't beat it or do, like, any of the survival trials or anything like that. I think what's really gonna get me is when the second one comes out because Twilight Princess is my favorite, Zelda game.
Oh, and the second one's darker
And
in that vein. Yeah,
it's supposed to be very Twilight Princess-y. So I have a feeling that the second one is going to absolutely eat up my time.
cool,
So we'll see what
awesome.
happens.
Yeah, I haven't played most Zelda games, but after Breath of the Wild, I think I'm gonna go play Link to the Past for the first time.
That's a good one. And then you have to play A Link Between Worlds. I really like that one
Yes,
as
I'm gonna
well.
emulate it because I don't have a 3DS right now, and I will obtain it legally. Wink, wink.
We follow laws here.
Yeah, don't do crimes because I'm getting it legitimately. Like I said,
Mhm.
woohoo! Now I've also been playing a little bit of something else, which relates to our first news story, as I horribly cut off that transition earlier. But going into it, Sony finally has introduced 1440p game lists and more features in a new PS5 beta update. So this was released to some at random, it seems, PS5 users last week. I wasn't one of them, but I have friends on the PSVG Discord. Shout out to the PSVG podcast and Nintendo Shack, great shows. That a couple members there had codes that they weren't going to use and asked they're giving them out. And I'm like, me please, because I play all my games on my 1440p monitor and my PC on my 1440p monitor, and it was a huge bummer since the PS5 came out for it to not have 1440p output native resolution. It's an upscale 1080p on my monitor, which looks like a little blurry, little stretched. But I updated this morning and I noticed immediately on the dashboard it looks much crisper. I can output native 1440p, 60 hertz, and yeah, but it doesn't let me do VRR go above 60 frames. But that's for the PlayStation. That's fine. Um, some more concrete details include enabling players to have the choice of 1440p. So even though Even if you have 1440p monitor, if you want to play in 1080, or if your monitor allows a downscaled 4K, you can select those options. And the 1440p option will super sample 4K resolution down to your monitor, which makes it look much better than, I would say this, a 4K rendered game super sampled on a 1440p monitor with that resolution selected will look much better than a 1440p rendered game on your 1440p monitor, and so much better than a 1080p game rendered onto your 1440p monitor. So I want to see how this looks in Ghost of Tsushima. I imagine it'll look very pretty. Um, and besides that, we also have game lists, as I've said in this beta update. And game lists are kind of like game playlists in a sense. To do this, you go to your collection tab in PlayStation and select Create Game List, and you can choose games to add to your game list from your library and decide what to name it. So if I wanted to put all my Naughty Dog games in a game collection, I can make a game collection that said Naughty Dog and throw in my Last of Us, Uncharted, maybe original Crash games if you want, because that's still Naughty Dog. All those in your little, effectively a folder playlist, and you can access it there easily, rather than scrolling through your entire collection, which is a nice quality of life. And you can have up to 15 game lists and 100 games per game list. All games under the Your Collection tab of your game library can be added to this game list, including disc, digital, and streaming titles. You can also add the same game to multiple lists, and all this info is coming to you guys from the PlayStation blog. So, yeah.
That is,
What do you
I'm
think,
like,
Bree?
honestly, okay, I have feelings about lists. I absolutely love lists. I make
Oh,
them all
great.
the time. I use to-do lists. I also make lists of like lists, and I'm obsessed. So that really does something for me. I'm very excited about it. I don't know what lists I'm going to create, and honestly, 15 lists may not be enough for my brain, but
Yeah,
we'll work with it.
I don't see why they can't give us more. Like, yeah, what?
I don't know.
It's on your system hard drive too. Like, what processing? There is no actual performance barrier to having like more than 15 lists, I would assume. Maybe this is
Yeah.
just for the purpose of beta. Theoretically, should I don't see why they can't give you a 50 list limit when this comes out of beta, but
Yeah, I need lists of lists, I'm telling you. But yeah, other than that, I think like this all sounds really great. I mean, the 1440p, I do have a 4K TV.
oh, yeah,
So
I don't
hopefully
have a
it'll
4K display at all, so
yeah, I have a 2K monitor and a 4K TV. So hopefully, I mean, I don't use my monitor, I use my TV, but I could. So I'm sure that the games will be looking sexy.
awesome.
So,
Yeah. And
yeah,
when I start making real person money as a full-time worker after I graduate college, I'm probably going to splurge on a 4K LG OLED TV at some point.
mm.
So,
I was lucky enough to not have to buy this TV. It was for my 21st birthday. It was like,
oh,
"Do you
that's
wanna
great.
go do you wanna go to Vegas and drink alcohol, or do you want a TV?" And I was like, "I want a TV.
I want a
I don't wanna
TV.
go
I'd
anywhere."
do it. Yeah. If someone's like, you want an LG C1 or whatever the new model is, or you want to go get drinks down in well, okay, if it was Hawaii, probably still pick Hawaii. But if it's Vegas, yeah, I'm getting the TV.
I can tell you I have been faced with the decision of going to Hawaii or not, and I chose to not go because it meant I wouldn't be able to do marching band for a season. So
That's interesting.
yeah, so we had it was during band camp, and we set
Oh,
like you set most of like the movements during band camp, so it was like if you miss, like it's too far gone. So I had to choose between Hawaii or marching band, and I chose marching band. So
there you go. Well, I'm sure you made the right choice. Maybe,
I hope so.
maybe. All right, Bree, tell us about Yakuza.
Okay, so 8 Yakuza games arrive on PS Plus for August. We have Zero, Kiwami, Kiwami 2. They are going to PS Plus Extra and Premium in August. 3 through 5 remastered are coming later this year, but premium tier only. And then 6 is going to hit Extra and Premium later this year. And then Like a Dragon arrives on PS Plus Essentials in August. So this is also coming from the PlayStation blog. How do you feel
Yeah.
about this?
Do
I
you?
have not played Yakuza games at
Yeah.
all.
Oh, come on, come on. All right.
I'm serious. I haven't even touched them.
I've
I,
played
I have no idea.
I've played Zero, Kiwami, Kiwami 2. I've watched summaries of 3 and 4 because I tried playing 3 for about 6 hours. And so let me back up. So Yakuza Zero came out in 2015, which is or in the US in 2016, which is a prequel to, and a kind of reboot for the franchise and a prequel to Yakuza 1.
Mhm.
And Yakuza Kiwami is a remake of Yakuza 1 and is a sequel to Yakuza Zero, as the numbers would suggest. And Kiwami, and I think Kiwami means extreme in Japanese. So that's the titles they use for the remakes. And Kiwami 2 was a remake for Yakuza 2, sequel to Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza 1. And that came out in I think 2018, and that was on something called the Dragon Engine, which was a new game engine for Yakuza games that Yakuza Like a Dragon also uses, no pun intended, and I think Judgment and Lost Judgment also use. But I love Yakuza 0 through 2. I tried 3, and yeah, the gameplay there kind of sucks. I'm sorry, Yakuza 3 fans, but I watched Yakuza 3 and 4 story summaries because now I'm on to Yakuza 5, which was meant to be the last game in the series until they rebooted it with Yakuza 0 in 2015. So like most of the games are like 30ish hours or less. Um, but Yakuza 5 is like 60. It was meant to be the
Mm.
finale until RGG or Ryugo Gotoku, hope I pronounced that right, the studio who makes the game said, nope, we're, we're going to reboot it. But yeah, that's where my experience is with the franchise. I love Yakuza games. I'm playing through 5. I have a playthrough right now on Steam. And yeah, they're all coming to PS Plus. We saw them come to Xbox Game Pass before as well. Some were yanked off and they were re-added recently. But yeah, the only odd thing about this is that Sony reserved Yakuza 3 through 5 for strictly the premium tier. When they said they were using the premium tier for the classic game catalog, I thought they meant classic games as in PS3 and prior, not remastered versions of old games that were made for the PS4, which is what Yakuza 3 through 5 were. It's a bit confusing, but maybe this is also intentional so they make you buy premium to avoid the unintuitive availability scheme here throughout the tiers. So yeah, 3, 4, and 5 premium only, but then 0 through Kiwami 2 and 6 are all included in extra, and then Like a Dragon arrived as a PS Plus Essential and Up game as well.
Yeah,
So
they're really they I mean I'm curious to see where they're going with this specifically because you're right. Like, are they going to keep doing this or will they pull in between series? Is there a particular reason why they pulled 3 through 5? Is it just to
maybe
get money?
I think
Like, I mean,
it's
I'm sure it is for money, but like, I wonder if they have like a particular reason behind it
I, I
besides
could I
money.
can maybe see because Yakuza 3 through 5 were originally PS3 games and they were remastered. They're literally called Yakuza 3 remastered, Yakuza 4 remastered, Yakuza 5 remastered. And those remasters came out on the PS4 localized, or they were already localized in 60 FPS and 1080p. So maybe because the original game, because the remasters of PS3 games, maybe that's why Sony considers them a classic game collection. So those 3 games,
Mm,
they put them in premium, but that feels like it's a little bendy of the definition
yeah.
because when push comes to shove, because the 3 through 5 remastered are PS4 titles, but
Yeah. Hmm.
it's it's an it's a little more than a nitpick, but um, yeah, the games also
It's
go on
just
sale very often,
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's just curious, and I think these memberships are very new, so I think we'll continue to see like how they pick and choose titles, and maybe
right.
we can kind of pick up what the idea is maybe behind it. Also, I did look it up, and Kiwami does mean extreme, so you were
Cool.
right.
All right, thanks. Yeah,
You're welcome.
I thought that was, and I saw you pronounce them probably better than I did.
That's okay. Like I said, the only thing I've picked up from Japanese, 3-ish years of Japanese is is how to pronounce things. So that's about it. So
Okay, gotcha.
that's
All
not true.
right.
I can listen to some anime without subtitles, to be
Oh,
fair. But speaking
flex.
not to plug our Discord, but we were talking about this in the anime channel. And yeah,
Or
it's
Discord, see
like
the game media links in the show notes. Sorry.
yeah, come join us. No, that's exactly it. But yeah, we were talking, Kyle and I were talking about like how our listening comprehension is like way higher, probably because of anime, than like speaking. And I also don't have anybody around me to just like speak Japanese with. So
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. All right, cool. And speaking of Like a Dragon coming to PS Plus Essential, Sony has also revealed the all the PS Plus Essential games for August, and those should be available at the time you're listening to this recording for regular listeners on Tuesday, August 2nd for Patreon members. We'll get this a day early. Woohoo. But yeah, 2 days from now, we'll be receiving, in addition to Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is a great get on the service. I haven't played it yet, but everyone I talk to, especially one person who I know who's played all the Yakuza games, including Like a Dragon, and Like a Dragon's his favorite. Um,
Mm. Is that the newest one?
yes.
Okay.
Um, is coming to PS Plus with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 from Vicarious Visions. Those are really good remasters from what I've seen. I haven't played them myself, but yeah. And Little Nightmares 1. Those three games are all included with PS Plus for August. So as long as you pay your $60 a year in what was normal PS Plus before Sony made tiers of it, uh, you'll get access to these. I think this is a solid PS Plus essential lineup for August.
I can't talk to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Not a
But
skater
I
employee?
know, I'm not a skater girl. However, I do know I've heard a lot of good things about Like a Dragon, and then Little Nightmares I have played, and it's fantastic.
Oh, I have it in my
Um,
Steam library because I got it for
so
free
good.
one day. Steam was giving it away, literally. But I haven't
You
played it.
have yeah, you should really play it. It's the art is fantastic, and I really enjoy the mechanics of the game. It's a really good game. So if you haven't played that, now go get it and play it.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Sony is and has been interested in acquiring Square Enix. I'm not going to pronounce that name correct. Per
Let's call him
Stefan.
Stefan. Yeah, let's just call him per Stefan. Per Stefan D, let's say.
Stefan D. I'm so sorry. A former employee who founded Eidos Montreal,
Yeah, I think it's
which was
Eidos
owned
Montreal. Yeah.
okay, which was owned by Square Enix until the Embracer Group acquisition. Um, so it's looking like I'm very confused, to be completely transparent. Like Square Enix is selling themselves and Sony is trying to acquire them, or is Sony just like, "Yo, can we buy you?"
Well, first of all, these are rumors. If the rumors are true, Square is looking for a buyer, and
Okay.
Sony has shown interest. I've also seen rumors saying that it's strictly Square Japan that Sony would acquire, and that would make sense considering Square just offloaded basically all their Western studios to Embracer Group in a recent acquisition a month or two ago. And
Hmm.
but yeah, so if this is true, Square wants to be bought, and Sony's interested in that. Uh,
I hope they do, because like there's not many buyers that I would trust to deal with Square properly, because I feel like Square just has so many titles, and I would assume that the acquisition would be like you go do your own thing still, but I don't know. Also, are they going to change their name again like they did last time?
like what
From
do you mean?
when Square and Enix
From Square and
merged.
Enix to Square Enix? I think they'll do it.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
think so.
Squaresoft and
Yeah,
I don't
it was
remember the other
SquareSoft
one's
and
name.
Enix. Then they became Square Enix. As your cat jumps in, Luna.
She has a lot to say about Square Enix, apparently.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, I
You are not allowed on this desk, woman.
we'll keep an eye on it on this acquisition stuff, but take it with a big grain of salt, guys. This is just a rumor. But if Sony buys Square Enix, I think it would be Square has been in a corporate sense a bit odd over the past few years, especially with their treatment of
Mhm.
Crystal Dynamics and a couple of other studios and games like Guardians not performing to their standards. And the game was a massive critical success, even though it didn't sell. I don't know. I think Square has had unrealistic sales expectations for their franchises for a while, and they're a little out of touch there. And if Sony acquires them, would I be more comfortable with it? I don't know. I think I'd be pretty neutral. If at the very least, it might just mean Square titles might not be coming to Xbox indefinitely. But Final Fantasy VII Remake still hasn't. Final Fantasy 16 right now is a PS exclusive. So they've already been leaning into Sony
Yeah.
for a long time since, Final Fantasy VII back in the late 90s, right?
Yeah, I mean they have always had a really good relationship with Sony, I believe. I don't know. I guess like I'm just like more concerned because there's a lot of franchises within Square Enix that I, I want to see treated correctly. And personally, like I don't know, like I don't want to miss out on those stories. So I don't know. That I think that that's my biggest concern. And I would really hope that Sony would be able to properly deal with that, particularly Kingdom Hearts. Like, please don't get rid of Kingdom Hearts. I need to know what happens, anyways.
Your cat's back. All good. And next, Sony. This is a bit of a smaller story. Sony has released an officially licensed mobile controller for iPhone called the Backbone One, and it retails for $100, which, in my opinion, is a bit steep.
That
And
is.
Sony says its use case per their marketing is PlayStation Remote Play, and I I think that's certainly uh, a feature that the controller is the main feature the controller would be used for right now. But I also think Sony releasing this might be evidence that they're looking into maybe cloud streaming on your mobile devices in the future for certain games, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like xCloud, but a PlayStation equivalent of that. Um, and yeah, and this comes directly from the PlayStation blog. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Brie?
I mean, I'm not really looking to play my PlayStation games anywhere but like on my PlayStation, but I know a lot of people have that need. I mean, I don't know. The thing is for me, if I want to go somewhere and play video games, I'm going to bring my Switch. I know that not everybody has a Switch, so I don't know if they're
Yeah,
trying to pull from that market to attach like their PlayStation games. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I guess it just isn't for me, but I think it looks cool. Like I saw the photos of it and it seems really cool, but just not something that I'm interested in, especially for the $100 price point.
looks a little like a Wiimote thing,
It
like
it
like the Wii
does.
wheel. Yeah,
It does. That I think that's what like kind of it kind of looks like a Switch kind of. Like in like a roundabout sort of way. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I mean, how else are you supposed to make a handheld look? But
yeah, I understand. Well, yeah. All right.
are you gonna get one?
No, I'm not gonna get one. If
Why
any one of us is
not?
gonna get one, it's probably Sam, but I don't even know if he'll do it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, on to the next story.
Okay. Is that KOTOR? KOTOR?
KOTOR,
Okay. KOTOR has been
which is Knights of the Old
indefinitely
Republic.
delayed. Oh, yeah, I'm not in that space. Jason Schreier reports that design director Brad Prince and art director Jason Miner have been fired. Oh wow. Okay, that's drama. This follows a demo Aspire gave of the game in late June. Studio held Studio told staff that the vertical slice of the demo wasn't satisfactory and that they would pause the project because the project was not sustainable. Um, and the devs have a better release time frame. They're looking at like 2025 now, which that's a long. I mean, that's a long delay. Always, of course, delay games over not so that the games can be good when they come out, but also that's a long delay.
Yeah, it's
That's like a full game cycle almost, especially for like a
right,
AAA studio.
right. 4 years
So
is standard, right?
they're just like making the whole game again.
I guess it looks if this is true, and usually what Schreier reports in his egotistical self is is usually true though. And I guess yeah, they gave a vertical slice demo, and the big wigs did not like it. But to go right from a I don't know an underwhelming demo to simply firing two game directors, I think seems excessive unless there's something in that demo that just screamed incompetence.
There could also be something going on behind the scenes that they're kind of using this to fire them. It could be
Oh,
politics, it could be, like,
no.
crunch
Yeah.
issues, it could be HR issues, like, we have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But considering who it is, if we just take this at face value, the design director and the art director would imply that 1, they're not happy with the art, and 2, they're not happy with the game's design.
Well, what
So
is so Bree, you're from more of a games background and you've been
mhm.
educated in it. So when we talk about game design, that seems pretty general. What would like a design director do? Is this like someone who would design the layout, the fundamental layout of a level? Is this some like, are they a think tanker like that, or are they someone who codes in literally the
Mm-mm.
environment? Like, what does a design director do in a game? Do you know?
So it's yeah, so it really depends on the studio. So game design is a pretty open term.
Yeah, it sounded
And
like it.
and unfortunately that term changes from studio to studio. So I can't give you like an exact guess. However, a lot of the times you're looking at like they do map design, they also design like when the cutscenes play as you like as the level unfolds. So they're looking at like the beat by beat gameplay as well as like they're not doing like the environment art necessarily, but if you've ever seen like a block of a game where everything's just like cubes, that's like going to be a designer designing like where they want the obstacles in the area to go and stuff like that. So, a great example I absolutely love is when you play like Assassin's Creed and you're walking down a path and all of a sudden you hit like this one spot and then a cutscene plays. That's going to be a designer deciding when that cutscene is going to be triggered. So that's stuff that like a designer would do. It's a pretty open field.
Okay, cool, thanks. So,
Mhm,
yeah, that still seems very fundamental to the game, though. If your game
mhm.
design,
It's game design is like
yeah,
is the fundamental game.
yeah, your gameplay. So, uh, it seems like this is heading towards kind of a bit of development hell, and I'm surprised it's heading towards not good news, but I'm not completely surprised because the studio is Aspire. I don't think Aspire has done many big games in the past. Let me see. Aspire Media Games. Like they aren't a Blue Point or yeah, or like a Vicarious Visions with Tony Hawk. It seems like they don't have that caliber of talent. And when I look, and they've mainly ported and remastered games. When I look at this game list I
Mhm.
have right now, my second monitor of games from Aspire, they have done ports of many games like Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, like Civilization, like porting KOTOR, Borderlands 2, Call of Duty to Mac, more Civ, more Borderlands, The Force Unleashed, porting Nintendo Switch, Republic Commando porting modern consoles. So they're really a porting studio. It doesn't seem like they've done much from building something from the ground up. And of course, a remake isn't something completely from the ground up. You have source material to work with, but from a fundamental game point of view, it's much less to work with as opposed to porting a title. So I'm mentioning this because Aspire doesn't have anything on their resume to suggest that they could handle and succeed on a project of this magnitude. And to be honest, I'm kind of surprised or not Lucasfilm, Disney entrusted a KOTOR, or whoever owns the rights to KOTOR, entrusted a remake with Aspire as opposed to another studio. So
See,
I'm
but
not totally surprised by this.
I think like from my experience with like seeing Disney's video games, it's not that they're good or bad, it's that like they don't seem to put much care into their video games, right? Like they are more like focused on like TV and film and stuff like that.
Right, but
There
KOTOR was a
are
BioWare game originally, so
right.
that's a huge lineage from the past.
It does have a huge lineage in games, but if it is Disney behind this, like, and they're making the calls, like, I don't think that they're necessarily going to be as worried about the video game as like people who love the game and are concerned about the game
Right.
would.
Yeah, Disney owns it from a quick Google search, I think. Yeah, as as they own the Star Wars IP. But
Yeah. So hopefully, like the people that truly care about the game will get their hands on it and be able to treat it with the care and love it deserves. I know that it's like a huge classic that a lot of people love. So hopefully we'll see. Hopefully this means good things.
Yeah, we'll see. Just don't expect this game anytime soon.
No. Watch it come out in like 2028 and we'll be like, oh man, do you remember about 6 years ago? Oh God. All right.
Yeah.
Craziness.
So moving next, heading
Hmm.
towards PC, Steam DB, that's Steam DB for database, shows Returnal as a listed game with Steam Deck support. This was originally dubbed as Oregon in the Steam database in the spring, and this is part of a slew of updates that have been cropping up, spotted by users on the back end of Steam in their databases since the spring. And it suggests a release is most likely soon. We have Spider-Man coming this fall, both 2018 and Miles Morales. I assume, where there's smoke, there's fire. I think Returnal is surely going to come to PC soon enough. And
I
yeah,
think Returnal deserves a PC release.
yeah, I
That
agree.
game is beautiful.
Oh yeah, how that would look on like an ultra wide and
Oh.
at 144 frames or something.
Mhm.
Pretty awesome.
It's gonna
Yeah,
look so good. And this is like almost like, do I wait to play it now? But I don't think I'm gonna wait because I don't think like because I think you'll have to buy it off of
you'll have to buy
Steam.
it. Yeah,
And I don't think I want to buy this game because this isn't really like a game that's necessarily like up my alley. But I still want to play it. So I think
yeah,
I won't play it on PC, but I'm probably gonna watch people play it on PC so I can enjoy the graphics.
nice. Yeah, I'm sure a game with that also movement is so integral to that game. Great movement with a high frame rate is a fantastic combination, and you can achieve that on PC. So yeah, looking forward to seeing Returnal show up on Steam, and I'm also looking forward to just in general the gap between when a game releases on PlayStation when it's ported to PC shrink and shrink and shrink. You know,
Mhm.
I think that Ghost of Tsushima came out before this, and there's no
Mhm.
evidence of a PC port yet. But I hope to get to the point where game releases on this day, and then releases on PC on this date in the future.
Do you think it's Sony that's pushing this, or do you think it's the developers that want their game on PC?
I think it's a bit of both, but Sony's definitely on board considering in recent years, they've ported tons of games to PC, including the new Spider-Man games. They've so they've ported God of War, Spider-Man, or God of War, Horizon, Days Gone, Death Stranding. It might be one I'm forgetting to PC with Spider-Man 2018 and Spider-Man Miles Morales scheduled. And those are all from different devs,
Mhm.
and Sony's already bringing them over. And they've
So I guess
already acquired a studio, Nixes, that specializes in PC porting. So I think Sony's certainly on board with it.
yeah, I
Oh,
would
and God of
definitely
War, of
agree.
course.
I think more my question would be like if like the studio isn't on board, like specifically like Ghost of Tsushima, like what if they're like we don't want our game on PC, but Sony does. I mean, Sony owns the franchise, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they would make the final call, but I'm just curious like how that would go down.
Well, that's why they have this. Let me back up by saying I don't think Sucker Punch would say we don't want our game on PC, but for the sake of your question, if they did hold that belief, I think that's why Sony acquired Nixes,
Hmm.
Nixes, Nixes, which is a
So
PC
that way
porting
they can
studio.
allow
Yeah,
people to continue development while they work on
yeah.
porting it.
To
Okay.
hand it off to them to port with correspondence from a few employees or a small team from Sucker Punch to help with that.
Okay.
So the main portion of the studio can focus on whatever their next project is, but Sony can still keep bringing the content to desktop. So
Okay.
I think that's how that would go.
Okay, that sounds cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I think like I don't know, I'm all here for this. Like PC just needs to benefit from we need to start having Nintendo port now. That's really
Eh, emulation
I
never
know
works
it
for
won't
me.
happen, but we can
Yeah.
pretend.
Well, you so a couple N64 games have been completely decompiled and recompiled into native PC ports. Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time. I played Mario 64 for the first time a year or two ago, or not, it was a little over a year ago, on the PC, the native PC port with 4K textures and 60 frames and tight Mario Odyssey movement. And it played fantastically. And so I think that's the closest we'll get to Nintendo bringing games to PC. But
Oh yeah, I don't think they will, but like I just want to have a PC and be able to play like everything. Not
well,
that I won't still buy consoles. It's just a cool idea.
yeah. I mean, you can emulate really well everything through the Wii U. Like CMU
Okay.
is a great optimized emulator. People are running Breath of the Wild over 100 FPS now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yuzu is a Switch emulator that's making progress, a lot of progress. Yeah.
It's always
So,
so cool to see like people make that kind of stuff like Breath of the Wild and like Unreal Engine and stuff
oh yeah,
like
you saw that.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of crazy
Well,
stuff that people make.
isn't it actually in Unreal Engine?
Mm,
Maybe Unreal Engine 5. That's what it was.
I
So,
don't
oh, wait, no,
remember,
no, no.
but I just
That's
remembered like the upscaled resolution was insane. And
okay.
any further resolution I can get of like Link is like I'm here.
That's
I'm
great.
here.
Yeah. So it looks like it wasn't in Unreal Engine, but it had an Unreal Engine 5 demo, which is what you're thinking of.
Mhm.
There was also an Ocarina of Time Unreal Engine demo, which was nuts. I
Oh,
saw.
I did not see that one. That sounds
Looks
super
like if
cool.
someone just remade the game. Yeah.
Alrighty, last I think yeah, last story. Sony launches a development hardware loan program. Newly approved game publishers and devs for Sony can receive one PS5 dev kit and testing kit from SIE by loan. It's going to be geared heavily towards indies, and I think this is a fantastic idea because to be able to loan like a PS5 to developers so that way they can make sure they're able to make this game,
Right. And not just the
especially with the
PS5.
shortages of the
Mhm.
PS5.
So not just the
Like,
PS5, a PS5 dev kit and testing kit, which are not
mhm.
on the market. They're far more expensive than a PS5. I think they're in the four-figure price range if you were to
Really?
actually buy one.
Damn.
Let me Google it. How much PS5 dev kit? So according to the internet, uh, I don't know. Oh, anyone? Most people who know that info probably signed a non-disclosure agreement, but I know they're much more expensive than normal consoles, and you have to get
Because
them.
there's a lot included.
Yeah, you have to get them through Sony or through
Mhm.
Xbox or through Nintendo, whoever you're developing for. And yeah, it gets it grants further accessibility to making games for this platform.
Mhm.
Um,
I think
would be
this is
nice to know how.
so good.
Sorry.
No, I
Yeah,
was just gonna say that I think we're going to see like the repercussions of this for a long time to come, and I think that it's like a really fantastic thing. Indie developers just don't have like obviously the funds, and to have like something like this offered to them, I think is really going to help. So,
yeah. Um, I would like to know, just my curiosity, how steep the loan is. Like, I assume, how do I say this? I assume Sony isn't just giving you the test. Sony's not just giving you the testing kit and say, give it back to us in 2 months for no additional cost. It's no, there's a price to renting it. I'm curious on the pricing structure, but I don't know.
really,
Brian,
you think that they're going to charge for this? I feel like they wouldn't. I feel like the deal would be you have to sign a contract that this game has to come out on PlayStation,
I
which would
feel
be the
like,
only purpose behind having the dev kit, but still.
well, on PlayStation, not exclusive to PlayStation.
No. I think they may sign some exclusivity deals, but I don't think that it'll be
Yeah,
correlated to
I mean,
this.
I don't know enough about game development to know if Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo just alone or just I don't know enough to know if Sony would just give you this dev kit and say, yeah, return it in 2 months, and if it's not returned on time, then we charge you, or is it you can rent it for this amount of time and here's the rate for this period of time?
Um, my guess would be either that it's a highly supplemented cost, like it's not going to break the bank at all, or they're giving it out for free. Um, I mean, I don't know that for certain, but the thing is that, like I said, like indies are barely, especially if it's a brand new indie, they may not even have like the funds for like a studio, let alone like trying to like rent this equipment. So I don't know. I think it doesn't make sense to me for them to charge a lot of money and try and make money off of this.
Yeah, and also it is a loan, right? So it's not like Sony's giving this
Mhm.
away. Unless, of course, I'm sure there's a contract and they'll keep your card on file or they'll take legal action if you don't give it back.
Exactly.
But yeah. So yeah, I hope good things come from this, and I'm glad to see Sony pushing towards indies again. The former
Hmm.
PlayStation president Shuhei Yoshida is back in the indie world, so I wonder if he had something to do with this.
Have you watched him play Stray? It's the best thing.
Oh my God, there's gameplay of him playing Stray.
Yeah, they started PlayStation just started doing this new series. I can't remember. It's like Indies something something where they're basically featuring indies by playing it with them. So it's like one of the game developers and then Shuhei and then somebody else I assume from the PlayStation blog or something like that. But yeah, Shuhei playing Stray is brings
Oh,
me
that's
so
great.
much joy.
Yeah, it's called Let's Play Indies.
Uh-huh. There you
As
go.
of the time of recording, this is came out 4 days ago on the official PlayStation YouTube channel. That's awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, it's fun. Shuhei is a lot of fun. I adore him.
Yeah, sweet. And shockingly, went way faster than I thought we were going to.
Yeah, we blasted through.
Lasted through here at the 46-minute mark. But yeah, that's all the major news stories for this week. But there is another piece of news that I know Bree wanted to talk about with Nier Automata.
Uh, yeah, so we looked this up right before the show. So essentially what happened in chronological order is there was this weird video that was released on Reddit, I think it was, that everybody was like, what the heck is happening? This wasn't in the game. And it's basically where you're playing as it's not who is it? One what's her name? I can't remember her name. It's the third character that you can play in Nier. So you is it 2A? Maybe. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So basically you're running around as her and then you open a door that like there's no indication a door is there. You open a door and you walk through, go down this really long ladder, and there's this like crazy cathedral and a cutscene plays. And it everybody was freaking out about it. They were like, "Oh my god, is this just like hidden story? Why was this here?" And everybody was joking like the developer who made this is so excited that we're finally seeing this. But then I guess it was released that somebody had modded it, even though people had previously said there's no way you could mod the game like this. Apparently, it is just a mod, but it was still fun for a little bit. It was still like some exciting news. So I love Nier. The art is amazing. The story is amazing. Anything to do with that game has my attention. So
I need to play it, and it looks really fun. And I love shoot 'em ups, and I know it has shoot 'em up. It's hack and slash, shoot 'em up, bullet hell, all of it wrapped in one with a great story. And I need to play it. I played like 5 hours of it, then I put it down because I was a stupid teenager, and I need to pick it back up after
yeah,
like
you
4 years.
definitely should. I mean, the like two booty alone is worth it. So
Too.
yeah, that's like so the main character's name is 2B.
Yeah, I know
Um
that.
and she like very purposefully like the creator has openly talked that he wanted fan art of her, so they made her thick. And her skirt, you can see right up it, especially when you're going up and down ladders. So she just has this thick booty. So she's called 2 Booty. So
Oh my god.
there you go.
Well, then what is 9S? Is 9S 9 sexy? What is he?
Well, he's just cool. I don't know. I really enjoy 9S. He's just like a really cool character. And I'm also gonna like I'm not gonna lie to you, like not to call myself out, but when characters have white hair, like they're already like knocked like 10 notches up for me.
Oh, so
I
you're a
don't
Witcher 3 fan.
understand. Yes. Just white hair. I don't understand where this it's like not even like an old, it's like young anime characters like in like 20s to 30s like with white hair like Kakashi. Come on. Come on. Gojo? Come on. I don't know. It's like this weird correlation where characters are so attractive and then they also have white hair. It's a problem. Anyways, so yes. 9S is cool. Andy has white hair. 2B has white hair. They all have white hair. It's a great time.
Yeah. Wait, did you mention did you close up the story and say it ended up being a mod? This church thing?
Mhm.
I think I just forgot.
Yeah,
You
I
were talking.
I did.
Yeah, I just didn't hear that. But
That's
yeah.
okay.
Oh well. I need to play Nier, and did they mention if they're making a new Nier? Yokotaro,
So
I
we
guess
we
is the
covered
publisher.
this last week a little bit, but they have 3 projects that they're working on, and one of them, so they're doing two. One's like a new franchise,
Oh, right. I
so
heard
that
about this.
wouldn't
Yeah,
be
yeah.
near. One is Bayonetta, and then there's a third one. It's called Project Gigi, I
Oh, you're
think
talking
is.
about Platinum as a whole.
Yes.
Okay, I was talking. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so Platinum makes the
Yeah, I know
game,
Platinum makes
but,
that. I don't know if you're talking about Yoko
um
Taro or actually developer.
no,
So
no, the
Platinum themselves.
developer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bayonetta 3 is coming in a month. I'm sure all hands on deck for that right now.
Oh my god, is it really a month?
It's like
Oh
a little over a
my
month. Yeah.
god. That's so soon.
Actually, let me
I
Google it. Actually, it might be October. That's a lie.
Okay,
Bayonetta
I thought it was
3,
October.
October 28th. Yeah.
Okay. Don't scare me like that.
Yeah. Last of
I was
Us.
like, "I gotta prepare."
Last of Us remake though. That's like literally a month.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Oh, anyways, Project GG, we have no idea what it is, but it doesn't sound like it would be a near game
Okay.
from
Yeah.
I don't know. They also could switch franchises because Nier comes from a different it's like Draken something, Drakengard.
Drakengard.
Yeah. So they could take Nier into a new franchise so it's not Nier anymore, but I don't know. I don't think that they'll drop Nier, but I also haven't really heard much about Nier, and I just want another one. So
Meanwhile, I haven't played either of them. I'm just waiting.
you'll
But
want another one too, I
all right.
promise.
All right. All right. Yeah, you're right. You're probably
There's you
right.
have a lot of gameplay to get through though. There's I think 25 endings
Well,
of
yeah, but I know most of them are meme endings, except for
Automata.
like 5 of them, right?
Yeah. So they're well, I won't get into it. I won't get into
Okay, no
it. some of
spoilers.
some of them some of them are very short where it's like you just go this way instead of this way and then like you like not die but basically it resets the game. Um some of them are like that, but a lot of them are like you have to do that but you make it like halfway through the main story and then you have to do that. So it ends up being like a huge chunk of time that you just basically ends the game. But yeah, I would recommend if you want to play it. There you can look up spoiler free walkthrough to all of the endings, and it will tell you exactly how to get all of the endings without spoiling the story for you. So
Oh, okay. Sweet.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, of course, I love this game. So
Cool. And yeah, actually, I have a topic on Limitless. I was curious in your thoughts about.
okay,
So, I heard this on a couple podcasts last week, and yeah, I wanna know what you think. I'm trying to think what I think of. So now we're heading onto our section of the show called Limitless, where we talk about whatever we want. Usually, we centralize it to a fun set of topics like the sneer news, and I wanted to know, Bree and listeners, tell us in our Discord or on Save or at Save Game Media on Twitter. What do you think about this? What do you think are the most or are some of the most, if you can't whittle it down to one, most recognizable game sounds?
sounds.
Just like a sound, not
Um,
music, but like a sound.
the sound. I'm gonna definitely say that that's gonna be a lot of Legend of Zelda sounds.
Yep,
Um, I think like opening a chest is going to like I think that and I when I say Legend of Zelda sounds, I mean like I really think that people would know this without even having played games. So I think the Legend of Zelda sound is one. I think or like the opening chest sound is one that I can think of off the top of my head. I think another sound is going to be like the Mario jump.
yep.
And then I think I don't know what game it's from, and it may just be like a generalized sound, but like the punch sound that people do a lot, the huh, like that kind of thing, that one's also pretty pop culture at
That
this
might be
point.
Ryu from Street Fighter.
That's what I was thinking is it would be Street Fighter. But I'm not well versed enough in that to whittle it down, I guess. So I would say that those would be my initial thoughts as far as like what even just like regular non-gamer people would know. But
Yeah, I
what do you think?
think I heard someone say this on the PSVG podcast last week, Delvin, and I think he's right. Something that the common person would know, Pac-Man going around the board.
Mhm.
Also, people who are maybe a little more familiar with games, the sound Sonic makes when he's picking up a coin.
Mhm.
And other than that, I think maybe Mario getting a mushroom. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
you already getting a mushroom and Mario picking up a coin. But those I think those are the biggest ones by far.
Yeah, I think what like kind of comes to mind is that stuff like that could show up in like TV shows and stuff like that or movies. And so I was kind of thinking about like some of the sounds that that show up in Scott Pilgrim. Because Scott Pilgrim uses a lot of like classic video game sounds, and
Okay.
they're sounds that are persistent throughout several different franchises as well. So that's kind of where my mind was going. But
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched any Scott Pilgrim, but everyone loves it. I need to get on that. Or read it. I haven't done anything Scott Pilgrim in my life.
I haven't read it, but I can't believe you haven't watched it.
Nope.
I think that's illegal. If you play video games, you have to watch Scott Pilgrim.
Really? Was it a game first or
No, it's I think it might have been the movie first actually. It's
like the
either
live
movie or
action one
comic.
with Michael Cera?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, it
Interesting.
definitely it wasn't there. I think there is
So they were
maybe a
graphic
game now,
novels
but
first.
I've
They
never
were
even
graphic
played it.
novels first, and the game and the movie came out in 2010.
Oh, it's been 12 years.
Yep.
Anyways, I love that movie. I rewatched it I think this year or very end of last year.
Oh,
And it is so good. I actually had to also watch it for a college class. Fun fact. That was an interesting time, but it's really freaking good, and it does so well to like show. I don't know. It's like it shows off video games really well in a fun way that you wouldn't expect. There's very fun nods to video games that if you're not paying attention, you won't see them.
oh,
But
awesome.
when you're paying attention and you know video games, you're like, "Oh, okay. That's like they're just like little tiny effects that are on the screen, almost like video game meters and stuff like that." It's
I'll,
so good.
I'll definitely have to see it. All right. Well, thanks for the advice.
Yeah. I can't believe you haven't seen that. That's like blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty uncharted in a lot of waters, but yeah.
Pun intended?
No,
Oh.
but sure. Let's go. If you want a PlayStation show.
Okay, yeah. I still have to play Uncharted 4. I can't believe I haven't played
Oh, come
Uncharted
on,
4.
come on. You gotta play. Well, if you're gonna play it, play the PS5 or PC version.
No, of course. Of course, of course. I yeah, there's a lot of games that I haven't played. So we
Yeah.
can we can judge Brianna too because I haven't played Spider-Man. I haven't played
Oh my God.
I never finished Horizon, which isn't a surprise, but
I never
I
played
never
Horizon.
finished it.
That's my only
It's
gap in
really
my
good.
PS4 play playbook is not playing Horizon.
Mm, I have several gaps, so
Yeah, it's fine.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
It's fine. But yeah, on that note, thank you so much, listeners, for listening or watching our show. And you can find us on YouTube at Save the Game Media. And don't forget to check out our Discord. Links in the show notes if you want to hang out. Links in the description. You can also check us out at Twitter at Save Game Media. Not Save the Game Media, but Save Game Media, because Twitter hates me. And once again, thank you to our patrons, Bucky Blue, Alpaca Tom, Hopple, and SAZ. And until next time, have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.